Dress rehearsal is over and we are 2 weeks away from the real deal. However, the biggest news coming out of the most critical week of the preseason has nothing to do with football. A new edition of the Pylon's coming at you right now.
And it's almost coming into sight, and they're running out of time. Your decision on a dime has you gliding through the sky, and
praying that you fly on.
Didn't go as planned, but you're knowing where to land, so you stick it out your hand while you hit it, cheering.
Fans, commentators in the stands going in a freaking trance when you're
to the pylon.
Even though it was unspectacular, Trevor Siemian did just enough to close the door on the competition at quarterback in Denver. The quarterback out of Northwestern went 10 of 17 for 122 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, with another potential interception being dropped by a Rams defender. However, Trevor Siemian's play wasn't the most telling story of this game. Mark Sanchez didn't even leave the sideline during the game, which could spell his end with the Denver Broncos, and here's why. It goes back to what I was saying before. Mark Sanchez is what he is, and it's not going to change. The guy works hard, yeah, but he makes way too many mistakes. The Denver Broncos basically signed him and said, "You are our leader, we expect you to get the job." But he made way too much of a competition out of it, which spelled his end in Denver, and he just straight up lost the job, plain and simple. But speaking of losing the job, did Colin Kaepernick lose the job in San Francisco prior to the game actually starting? As I'm sure you've already heard, Colin Kaepernick is making headlines for the wrong reasons coming out of the 49ers' 21-10 loss to the Green Bay Packers. During the national anthem, Colin Kaepernick elected to take a seat for reasons relating to police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movement. Here's what he had to say.
Ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. This country stands for freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now. For men and women that have fought for this country, I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people, they fight for liberty and justice for everyone. And that's not happening.
Okay, as I stated in my first video ever, this show is meant to discuss the hottest topics around the NFL. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a drama series, so before I get into his actions, I will say this. Both quarterbacks for the 49ers played like trash, and I'm especially disappointed in Colin Kaepernick's football performance. Kaepernick looked bad, going 2 for 6 for 14 yards. Probably what was most disheartening was seeing pass after pass being batted down in his face, and then when he did have a clear throwing lane, he wasn't accurate in his delivery. And I'm not going to eat my words like I did with Ezekiel Elliott, because Blaine Gabbert has had 3 preseason games to run away with the job, plus a full offseason. Yet Chip Kelly isn't ready to name his starter either. If I'm basing this from a pure football perspective, then I'd play these guys a few series each in this final preseason game until I get some clear answers. But from a PR standpoint, Colin Kaepernick surely lost the job, and not only is he okay with it, but so am I. Take the following statements however you want to. I really don't care. I'm not saying what he did was right or wrong. That doesn't matter. He has a right to express his distaste for the racial issues and the prejudice that goes on in this country. So for the people who say that, if he doesn't like what's going on in this country, then he just needs to leave, those same people chastise Obama and how horrible he's made this country. Am I gonna tell them to leave? No, it's hypocritical. And also for the people who are bringing up how it disrespects the military, that is a more understandable point, and I understand where you're coming from because my mom is a veteran. But riddle me this. Do you think those veterans that have actually died for this country, do you think they died for the racial prejudice that goes on, not only on the parts of blacks, but whites as well? When the hypocritical political trolls like Tommy Loren tweets things like this, it kinda agitates me because she's the main one that always emphasizes that we all have the right to exercise our First Amendment right. And Kaepernick was doing exactly that, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. The argument of racism is sadly going to be a never-ending debate, but for those of you who are criticizing him for his actions, clearly forgot what it means to be American.